Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watch You Want, and thanks for logging on. Today, we're looking at the Oris Aquis Small Second Dive Watch. You can see this 46mm stainless steel Oris dive watch on our website, watchyouwant.com. Purchase it there, and if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Watch You Want Inc. Now you can see on my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference, the newest of Oris's dive watch variants, the Aquis. Its line relaunched in 2015, is a handsome and imposing 46mm, but not overwhelming in spite of its mass. Now, it is an oversized sports watch in the modern sense, but despite being 46mm across the round of the case, the watch is remarkably compact. Now, the 16mm height doesn't play as such because the cupped case back allows the watch to nestle into the wrist. It rides about 14mm above the wrist. It will hang up on tight dress sleeves, but not sport jacket cuffs. The watch is 54mm from extremity of lug to the opposite extremity, but it is probably the most planted, secure, and compact 46 I have ever worn, and there's a great reason for that. The lugs are wonderfully downturned in strategic fashion with a conforming end-piece strap, that is, it closes the gap between the end of the strap and the flank of the case, and yet nevertheless it has unimpeded ability to bend down around the curvature of a smaller wrist. Now, to good effect, Oris attaches the strap with screws. So these are actually threaded lugs, very robust. It is the more expensive to make an attachment for a strap to a watch case, but on a large and heavy sports-oriented timepiece like that, that's a phenomenal refinement that speaks to the quality Oris has engineered into the watch. Now, the strap is an all-timer, one of the best I've experienced. First and foremost, it's very supple. It has no tendency to crimp or fight the curvature of a wrist, and on its underside, it's beautifully evacuated such that it will relieve moisture, grit, sweat that accumulates under the wrist during periods of vigorous activity, and that evacuation also makes the material, though beautifully tapered as it approaches the lug, abundantly flexible when it does have to curve. Now, the clasp, which features the Oris marquee as well as contrasting brushed and polished finish, is a smart piece. It features twin trigger release. It's actually beautifully finished on the inside, and while Oris watches tend to be value leaders, they don't really give up any content to achieve that distinction. Twin trigger action here allows the clasp to remain firmly shut when it's closed, and you must depress both triggers to release the clasp. Now, once it's released, Oris gives you an incremental dive adjustment such that you have several stations that are activated by pressing both triggers on the adjustment slider. It's like Rolex's Glide Lock, but a little bit more secure even due to the use of triggers, and a little bit more convenient, more precise for it. Now, it does feature a wonderfully tapered strap, and I've never seen this type of evacuated strap point that makes it easier to feed through the mating surface of the clasp, so it fits more secure and it's easier to make adjustments on the fly. The watch itself features a beautiful combination of ceramic, a gorgeous lustrous metallic blue dial, polished and brushed facets. You can see how polished elements, namely the lugs, are used in contrast with the brushed flanks of the case. Although this is a very utilitarian reference designed to get wet and hit hard, it is beautifully finished with a great deal of thought given to art design. The knurled portions of the bezel are polished and to good effect. They stand out dramatically against the polished ceramic bezel. That's right, polished ceramic bezel. Despite the fact that, as I mentioned, Oris is a value leader, you do get these ceramic bezels on the Aquis line, so you have that indelible, nearly sapphire-hard material inlaid with lume so that it is fully lumed, you can see it at night, and the bottom line is, I've seen Oris watches getting a lot of love on the channel lately, so I've been encouraged to do more reviews. As I do more reviews, I begin to understand why the Oris watches are getting so much love, and that continues on the dial. Now, it's a beautiful small seconds composition with a jump date discreetly placed at 6 o'clock. It's not a sunburst and it's not a matte. It's simply a metallic luster that's hard to describe. It almost has a gradient effect, and it shifts dramatically in direct and indirect light such that the character of the watch does change and transform. All of the indices are beautifully lumed, and they are applied, not printed. Again, the quality factor is very high. The watch is easy to see in no and low light, and you'll note this is a 50 bar, 500 meter watch, so water resistant to well over 1,660 feet. This is tough stuff, and inside Oris equips it, protected by generous screwed-in crown guards, with a crown activating an Oris caliber 743 based on a Sellita SW220, essentially a copy of the ETA 2824, a very thick, tough, and hardy sports watch automatic, albeit with 28 joules and refined to include the small seconds complication. It's a tough timekeeper for a tough watch. It also features the underlying refinements of the 2824, including hacking or stop seconds, so you can stop the balance and synchronize the small seconds precisely to an accurate quartz watch, atomic clock, or dive timer, and it does feature the quick set function of the underlying 2824, so should the watch run down, you do have that convenience. And the crown is a knurled pleasure to operate, being immense, much like an old school 50s Rolex Big Crown. It feels bigger than it has to be. There's the utilitarian element of the knurling and the size, but then it's almost as if, like the Grinch's heart, Oris scales it up 2 extra sizes. And the bottom line is it's beautifully secured by these unique screwed-in crown guards, so not only is it effective, but it is handsome. You can see this unique, high-value Oris Aquis small seconds dive watch on our website, watchyouwant.com.